are probably sick of seeing the same circuit, but I'm still going to use it to explain the last new thing that we can do with normal circuits before entering the waterfall method. So basically now we're going to introduce the emergency button. So you're probably thinking of like a big red button in a little box that does something that you want. And just introducing real quick what we want the emergency button to do. So if we have an actuator that moves a piston, for example, like this way, and it, for example, is out of control and it's going to hit someone, or if you're lifting something and it's going to fall, for example, using pneumatic actuation to lift a box, and it's, for example, going to fall, you want your emergency button to, for example, make it move down so it doesn't fall, for example, or never mind, but like every system that you have, the emergency button can be set to do a different thing. So on our example, the emergency button could be set to make all of the pistons activate and reach the plus position, or make them go back inside. But it depends on the choice of the engineer that's projecting the system, because it could choose something to make it more safe for the ones who are operating it, or to save costs on some like really expensive machinery. So it's gonna depend on the choice. But basically, when you're doing an exercise, what's gonna happen is like somebody's gonna ask, like, do an emergency button that makes all the actuators move back inside, or like move forward, go outside. It's gonna be asked what you're gonna do. But now that we understand what is it for and how you can project it when you're, for example, doing a pneumatic system for someone for in the industry or something like that, um, you're probably gonna have to decide what is it for and what is the emergency position. Okay, so in an emergency situation, we want to make sure that there's no pressure at all on anything. So the first thing we need to do is take off the pressure of our main pressure line and make the movement do what we want it to do. So you're probably thinking that if we want to activate, for example, on this example here, I'm gonna do I'm gonna make the pistons go to the plus position. So I'm gonna activate them, and to do that, we're gonna add the choice for the valves to be activated by another thing. So here we would have to have something else that could activate the same line, while also taking the pressure off of here. So you probably already saw what I wrote down, but below, sorry, I'm super tired. My English is failing, but I'll just explain what I just copied here, stealing again. But if you see here, just let me, this is really big, so weird. I think I'm gonna make this bigger so it's better to visualize it. Okay. So what we have here now, it's a button again. We're already sick of buttons, but we have more. They're everywhere, really. So, okay, let's see. It's similar to what we're using here, as you can see it basically activates pressure on one side, taking it off on the other, and then it changes the positions, doing exactly the opposite. So here, when you, for example, push your emergency button, which I'm gonna paint in red so it looks like emergency. When you push it, what's gonna happen is actually just introducing its position without the button pressed. We're gonna have pressure coming out of or air compressor and giving pressure to the line as it already was, as we did on our previous examples, which just gives pressure to the main pressure line. We're gonna keep doing that in the normal situation, but if, for instance, we activate the button, so something's happening and someone goes there and press the emergency button, what is gonna happen is this. So when the valve shifts, the pressure, as we can see here, it will be directed to the atmosphere. So we're gonna take off the pressure of or a normal pressure line. So this line will have no pressure anymore, and neither the components that it's connected to. Fine. And now what we're gonna have is that this other line has pressure. Okay, so now we're gonna apply pressure here, and this is gonna trigger the movements that we want. So in our case, it's gonna be to make the sensors activate. Make the sensors no, but the activators to activate. And how will we do it? Basically, we still need to make sure that it's possible to work without the emergency button. So what we can do is that it's gonna have two possibilities to activate this valve. And what does this mean? An R valve. So I'm just gonna draw it really dumbly. Wait. Okay, so now I just drew it and we have our R valves, and they will allow the possibility to activate it through the emergency button or through the normal pathway. And now we're just gonna adapt it so it can do something like this. This is wrong. Don't do it at home. I'm just gonna do it with the red line, but it's okay, you get it. And we're just gonna adjust the pathway so it's possible to activate it through. Wait. Okay, so now what I just did is make sure that our emergency pathway, which is in red, can activate or actuator in the position we want, and also that it can be activated through the normal pathway. So that's it. And it's basically like this, and it's always going to be like this. You're gonna have, it's gonna be connected. That's the thing. You're gonna have your normal circuit, and then you can add a button that takes the pressure off of your main pressure line once triggered, and that it gives pressure to the emergency pressure line, which will trigger the movement that we wanted to make. And then this movement is going to be connected with an OR to the original pathway. And that's it. We're done with emergency button, and on the next video we're gonna deal with the cascade slash waterfall circuit. That's it.